So cunning, so cunning. Zombie is truly a schemer. It turns out that his body being taken over by the source was part of a plan he devised long ago, all to allow his underlings to finally defeat the source. And now, he's reconstructed a new body and started fighting the source again. Just now, after Violet cut off one of Zombie's arms, the source was about to abandon Zombie's flesh and reveal his true form. Unexpectedly, Zombie's consciousness regained control, instantly manifested two new arms, and dragged the source back in. At that moment, the source, pulled back into the body, was utterly bewildered. What's going on? Why can't I leave this body? Seeing this, Agon and Ago were instantly reminded of the past, 1,000 years ago, just after the fall of the mechanical civilization. Back then, Zombie had awakened his sixth form and successfully resurrected Agon and Ago. To test their abilities, Zombie, in his sixth form, beat them up thoroughly, calling it a celebration of their revival. Agon and Ago were speechless. Although they were happy to be resurrected, wasn't this kind of celebration going a bit too far? After transforming back, Zombie looked puzzled. Why are you two so much weaker than I remember? Did something go wrong during your resurrection? Hearing this, Agon immediately retorted. Can't you use your brain? We've been dead for thousands of years, you're the one who's gotten stronger. This guy here was the top zombie king in our era, and now you cut him to pieces and hung him on the wall with ease. Hearing this, Varmint roared angrily. Newcomers, don't you know the rules? You dare call him zombie? Do you have a death wish? Let me teach you some respect. You must call him king. Agon and Ago were dumbfounded. Then Ago asked curiously, with your current strength, you should be able to easily defeat the source, right? Zombie responded helplessly. It's not a matter of whether I can defeat him or not. The most troublesome thing about him is he has no physical form, he's just a concept and can't be killed. But now I've thought of a way to settle it once and for all, the best solution I've come up with in thousands of years. As he spoke, Zombie pulled out a pre-prepared source elimination plan. First, I'll find a way to lure the source into my body and lock him up. Then, you guys will go and destroy the source's physical form. Finally, we'll throw a party and celebrate. That's my whole plan. Well, aren't you in awe of my astonishing genius? Looking at Zombie's plan, Ago and Agon were speechless. Let's ignore the ugly drawing for now. Do you really think we can beat the source? Zombie, King, don't you see there's a problem with your plan? What? How could my perfect plan have any problems? You're just nitpicking. We're just being objective. The first step is the problem. If you give your body to the source, we'll be risking our lives fighting him, and with your body plus the source, there's no way we can win. Oh, that? No worries. In any case, I don't remember where I locked up the source, so I've got plenty of time to train you both. You'll definitely be able to beat him by then. Returning to the present, Agon and Ago looked at the source trapped in Zombie's body and asked uncertainly. King, when you said, when the time comes, did you mean right now? Yeah, of course. Isn't it obvious? Isn't this exactly like I planned? You could have given us some warning. It's been over 1,000 years, who could remember? My memory's bad enough, but I never thought you two would be worse. As soon as Zombie finished, the source muted him. So you let me take over your body on purpose, plotting for thousands of years. No, it hasn't been that long. After sealing you, a lot happened during the Divine Age. I was busy and basically forgot about you. It was only when I awakened a new form and revived Agon and Ago that I remembered it was time to deal with you. I just forgot where I sealed you and was too lazy to look, so I shelved the plan. It was only while helping Violet train in the memory world that I realized you'd been thrown into my memories. A happy accident, I suppose. Hearing Zombie's explanation, the source gnashed its teeth in anger. Zombie, it's time you remembered the terror of the apocalypse. With that, the source's body turned black, surrounded by swirling black mist. You still think you can destroy me? Naive. Huh. Why are you suddenly getting angry? Agon, Ago, hurry up and finish him. If he escapes to the real world, it'll be a disaster. Hearing this, Agon quickly urged. King, maybe you should talk less. If you provoke him any more, the ones getting beat up will be me and Ago. What are you talking about? Weren't you just fighting passionately? At that moment, the source forcibly seized control of the body. Shut up, zombie. If you want to use this body to control me, I'll take full control instead. Don't think I'll ever return it to you. You want to use your underlings to destroy me? Then I'll make you watch everything you care about be destroyed. With that, the source swung a fist at Violet and the others. The earth trembled as a fissure raced toward them. At the last moment, Violet noticed her blood glowing green, and a hand began to form. In the next instant, Zombie, in his third form, appeared in front of Violet, stopping the Source's attack with just one hand. The Source was shocked at the sight. How is this possible? As Zombie's hand fully formed, his consciousness transferred to the new body. A body is nothing, a bit of my own genes and I can make another. Now it'll be much easier to beat you up. With that, he accelerated straight at the Source, punching him in the face. The Source was not to be outdone and landed a punch on Zombie's face as well. That's it, did you skip breakfast? You're the same, doesn't hurt at all. With that, the two clashed fiercely, neither backing down. The entire earth shook violently and dust filled the air. The people sucked into the space thought the end of the world had come and ran away in terror. Just then, with a loud boom, Zombie and the Source crashed down to the ground. As the dust settled, Zombie was seen to have lost an arm and had his body pierced by the Source's palm. But at this moment, the Source gnashed his teeth in hatred. Damn it, it's this kind of fight again. No matter how much damage I do, no matter how many times I smash him to pieces, he always recovers quickly. I can't kill him. And each time, he comes back even stronger. As Zombie activated his fourth form and prepared to counterattack, the Source's other hand struck out at him. Thousands of years have passed, Zombie, and your infuriating fighting style hasn't changed a bit. With a thunderous boom, a mountain was shattered, and half of Zombie's body was instantly blasted apart by the Source, leaving him motionless. Seeing this, the Source taunted, Zombie, go ahead and revive again. At this level, I'm not afraid of you at all. Keep this up and I'll definitely kill you. But the next second, Zombie's consciousness suddenly returned to the Source's side. Don't say that, actually, I've improved too. As he finished, Zombie activated an even stronger fifth form. How about this? You never saw this form back in the day, did you? As the Source stared in shock, Zombie targeted his penis, flashed to the ground, and with a bang, kicked him flying. The immense force sent the Source soaring tens of thousands of meters into the sky, before crashing into a suddenly appearing wall. As cracks spread across the wall, the Source glimpsed the real world through the fissures. So this is the boundary of Zombie's memory. This damned cage keeps me from reaching the real world. As the Source peered through the fissure at the outside world, Zombie said playfully, Hey, we're still fighting. Can you focus a bit? Fight? Don't be ridiculous. You really think I can't feel it? I may be occupying your body, but your flesh is constantly devouring my power. Before long, I'll be completely digested by you, consciousness and all. I was insane to try to take over a monster like you. Hearing this, Zombie quickly consoled him. Don't be so discouraged. You're so powerful, it'll take a long time to digest you. Besides, it's rare to meet an opponent who can make me fight with my fifth form, so let's keep going. The Source, hearing Zombie's teasing, was angered to laughter. Zombie, you're celebrating too early. Even if I can't beat you, I'll never let you have it easy. Watch closely, I'll make the whole world pay for this. With that, the Source plunged his hand straight into his own head. Meanwhile, in the real world, because of the Source's self-harm, a wound appeared on the Zombie King's head, and a trickle of blood slid down his forehead, landing beside a soldier watching the rift. As the soldier wondered who was hurt, a red arc appeared on the drop of blood, and energy spread outward from it. In an instant, the massive energy enveloped the city. The rift above, after absorbing this energy, instantly changed from green to red, like a blood-red eye glaring down at humanity. As the soldiers stared in shock, a sneaky figure peeked out from a corner, the very same soldier who had first noticed the blood. Private, what are you doing over there? That red light came from your direction, didn't it? What happened? But when the captain saw behind the soldier, he broke out in a cold sweat. This soldier had mutated and fused with countless other humans. As the other soldiers tried to block the mutant, the captain hurriedly called for Special Act Enforcement Bureau support, but only the sounds of destruction came through the radio. At that moment, Fur and Alang suddenly went berserk, burst out of the Special Act Enforcement Bureau headquarters. Both instantly entered their second forms, eyes blazing red, answering the king's will, to utterly destroy the world. The same events unfolded elsewhere. Big Sis looked at Agoe and Ashao in shock. You were fine just now, what's wrong with you? Agoe and Ashao were struggling to restrain themselves. Go, we can't hold it much longer. We really want to attack humans right now. Meanwhile, the Blood Tribe Queen was also affected. Staring at the rift, she felt her bloodlust growing, while two weaker subordinates went berserk. Blood. I need blood now. I'll work 10 jobs just to buy blood packs. Now that his objective was achieved, the source sneered at Zombie. Zombie, as we devour each other, our powers are merging. I don't need to escape, just leaking out a bit of this power can unleash a world-ending corpse tide. Even if you swallow me, all you'll get is a desolate wasteland of endless war between humans and zombies. Zombie, in the end, this battle will. But before he finished, he was struck by a force, and his whole body began to distort. At that moment, Zombie, face twisted in fury, activated his sixth form. Source, you've crossed my bottom line. You've succeeded in truly enraging me. At this moment in the real world, humanity sent fighter jets to try to stop Fur and Alang, who had entered a hostile state. However, the damage was nothing more than a tickle to Fur. Helpless, the commander ordered all jets to unleash their full payloads without reservation. But before he finished speaking, Alang suddenly appeared above the jets and, in the blink of an eye, destroyed them all. As he watched the jets crash with indifference, ready to attack humanity again, several black iron chains appeared around him, binding his limbs before he could react. Looking down, he saw that the giant transformed Fur was also restrained by the chains. At this moment, Varmint, face full of anger, shouted at the two of them. You two, calm down. How could the king ever order the destruction of humanity? There's no way something that good would ever happen. If you mess up, the king will slice you up and hang you on the wall again. Meanwhile, elsewhere, with General Sausage joining the fight, they finally subdued the mutant zombie. Staring at the fused zombie before them, General Sausage and the others were shocked. Is this the monster that caused the mutation? How much did Zombie have to drink to make such a mess? Just then, Blackie staggered over to warn them. This monster is the product of the king fused with another powerful force. It will drive the zombies into a collective frenzy. Seeing this, Inspector Chin quickly produced the compiled intelligence. That's right, zombies across H City are showing increased aggression. If this monster's power keeps spreading, a war between humans and zombies will break out again. After hearing the report, General Sausage patted Blackie on the shoulder. Blackie, I think you're affected by this monster too. You should leave. We humans will take care of things from here. At that moment, the fallen monster began to move again. Blackie warned worriedly. This monster's rank is extremely high, you probably can't handle him. You're right, humans have never been able to match zombies in power. With that, General Sausage clasped his fists, but don't forget, for thousands of years, it's us humans who have suppressed your kind. As soon as he finished, General Sausage vanished, and instantly reappeared in front of the mutant zombie, landing a punch. The green blood instantly burned his skin, but he showed no fear and kept punching wildly. I may not be able to beat a zombie alone, but what if there were 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 of me? As long as people keep fighting and sacrificing, there will always be someone researching, learning, and finding a way to win, until it's finally over. Sensing the ongoing battle, Chief Chin and Lon Chi prepared to rush over and help. However, as more soldiers were absorbed and fused, the mutant zombie grew larger. Seeing General Sausage and the others struggling, Blackie put his hand on his forehead, thinking that if it meant sacrificing so many people, there would be no point in the king having left him here. With that, a pair of jet black wings unfurled from Blackie's back with a boom, and his trademark pompadour loosened. No choice, looks like I'll have to get serious for once. With that, Blackie instantly appeared atop the mutant zombie, forming a finger gun gesture and saying to the zombie, "Fall, you poor souls." As soon as he spoke, countless streams of black energy burst from the mutant zombie. General Sausage was shocked. Amazing. No wonder Zombie trusts him. By the time Chief Chin and Lon Chi arrived, there was already a huge hole in the mutant zombie's head. At that moment, Blackie suddenly noticed something and looked up. What's this strange feeling? It's like something is watching us. But after scanning the area, he saw nothing unusual and thought it was just his imagination. Meanwhile, in the dream world, Zombie raised his hand and unleashed the power of Kamui. The source's body twisted and was utterly powerless before this force. As his body was about to shatter, he pleaded with Zombie. "Zombie, wait, don't you want your own body back?" Hearing this, Zombie continued his actions and said, "It's fine, I'll recover the entire body myself." Hearing this, the source voluntarily exploded his body into a blood mist and lunged at Zombie in a last-ditch effort, but before he could get close, an invisible force kept him out. "Still trying to fight me? You're just walking into my net." With that, Zombie casually waved his hand, and the blood mist coalesced in his palm. In the blink of an eye, the source was condensed into a blood sphere. Zombie swallowed without heed to the source's pleas. "I won't waste even a bit of your body." Afterward, Zombie burped, instantly reverted to his first form, and landed on a rock not far from Violet and the others. Just as everyone thought he and the source would battle for the body again, Zombie stood up and flashed a victory sign. "Perfectly handled. The source really was a great supplement. I feel even stronger now." Everyone was stunned at the sight. What the? He actually ate the source. Meanwhile, in a certain palace in a void universe where the divine civilization is located, a cloaked man stood atop the palace. The corpse tied on Earth was merely the aftershock of the fusion. It seemed the source had been utterly consumed by Zombie, bringing him one step closer to the total destruction of this dimension. Hopefully, it's not too late. This silver-haired youth is none other than the divine civilization's second masterpiece, Prince Kai. On the other side, Zombie was sitting on the ground, fiddling with something. Before long, he made several dolls identical to himself. Then, he proudly showed off these dolls. One massaged his shoulder, another trimmed his nails, while a third buffed his shiny bald head with a cloth. Not bad, simply perfect. They can move independently without possession. This ability is just too convenient. If I enhance them with nanomachines, that would be wonderful. Everyone was left dumbfounded by this eye-searing display. "By the way, Zombie, you swallowed that possessing guy. Are you sure you're really okay? If there's another fight, someone might die." "It's fine, I'm doing great, aren't I? I don't know why, but it just seemed so tasty that I swallowed it without thinking. Anyway, the result's great. Look how obedient these little guys are. I not only got this super convenient ability, but also recovered a lot of memory." Hearing this, Department Head Chen quickly asked, "The ancient person once said that before our era, you had destroyed, experienced 6 civilizations. So far, we only know of the ancient technological civilization and the Divine Age's superpower civilization. Did you recall a civilization even earlier than those?" "That's right, I did recall a little. I remember before the Divine Age, I had a huge fight with an incredibly powerful guy, got smashed to pieces, and when Prince Kai and the others found me, it was right after I'd just been resurrected." The scene flashes back to when Prince Kai and the others first met Zombie. According to the prophet's prediction, there was a rare item of destiny in a certain research lab. But when they arrived, what they found was Zombie lying in a research pod. Then the Zombie King discovered them and attacked. Zombie woke up unexpectedly and fled with them. At that time, Zombie was a blank slate, having lost all his memories and powers, and had to slowly regain everything. The rest of the story, you readers probably already know. Come, let me take you to see that era. Our battle was so intense, even space-time collapsed. As he spoke, Zombie prepared to crack open his own skull. Agon and Ago, reacting quickly, hurried to stop Zombie. "King, there's no need, once is enough for that. We'd better not peek at your memories so casually." "Oh, I just thought these memories were fun and wanted to share them. Wasn't challenging the source alongside Prince Kai and the others a beautiful memory? If it weren't for what happened afterward, wouldn't we have been better friends? Never mind, if you're not interested, then let's just..." But before Zombie could finish, his nose reddened, and he let out a thunderous sneeze. In an instant, the sky of the memory world shattered, and even cracks appeared across the sky in the real world. Meanwhile, Blackie gazed at the sky, deep in thought. Strange, that feeling just now seemed to come from beyond the solar system, maybe even farther. It's like something's approaching rapidly. At that moment, the fused zombie at his feet suddenly revived again. Blackie, noticing this, muttered, as expected of a creature influenced by the king's genes, "Looks like I'll have to use something stronger." Before he finished speaking, a figure suddenly appeared behind him. The figure gently stepped on the zombie's body, and in a flash, the zombie was split into 2 pieces. Seeing this, Blackie was shocked. "Who are you?" "That won't kill him, blowing him apart will just make him spread faster." But the newcomer ignored Blackie and casually pulled out a game controller device. "No need to remind me, I know how troublesome zombies' power is." The newcomer was none other than the Divine Age's second throne, Prince Kai. With that, he pressed a button on the device. "Activate, Relic of the First Age." Instantly, the severed fused zombie began to regenerate. Blackie quickly complained, "See? That's useless. Who are you anyway? You're just making things worse for me." But Prince Kai's legs glowed with golden light, and he instantly appeared in front of the fused zombie. "Don't worry, this will all be over soon." With that, Prince Kai kicked the fused zombie, and in an instant, its flesh and blood began to pixelate and disintegrate. At the same time, a pop-up appeared. Critical hit. You have successfully slain your opponent. The fused zombie, which originally had 100,000 HP, was instantly dealt 170,000 critical damage by Prince Kai and killed in a single blow. Witnessing this, Blackie and the others were stunned. Who is this guy? He actually erased a monster tainted by the king's power from the world in an instant. As he was wondering, Prince Kai landed before everyone. No need to wonder about my identity. I am Prince Kai, the second throne of the divine age. In order to prevent the disaster zombie is about to cause, I must erase him and your entire planet. The crowd was shocked. Are you crazy? The crisis is already over. Why are you still trying to scare us? Prince Kai looked calmly at the rift in the sky and said, the monster I just destroyed was only a prelude. The real disaster is about to arrive. As soon as he finished speaking, countless figures suddenly fell from the sky. All the humans who had been swallowed by the memory space fell out of the sky. Blackie was dumbfounded. What's going on? Why are so many people falling from the sky? He immediately went all out, spreading his wings to catch all the falling citizens. As the reporter staggered about, disoriented, Blackie gritted his teeth and shouted, "Great, now the king can't blame me for this." However, upon seeing this, Prince Kai clenched his fist. Just as the prophet predicted, Zombie ended up absorbing the source's power, and now he's having an allergic reaction. At that moment, as Zombie fell from the rift, his mouth opened wide, he was about to unleash another earth-shattering sneeze. Upon returning to reality, the Special Act Enforcement Bureau arranged for him to rest on a small island to stabilize his condition. But in just half a day, one sneeze had already blasted half the island away. At this moment, in a building with a giant hole in it, Zombie, looking sickly, managed to stifle a sneeze. Violet, who had brought food, breathed a sigh of relief. That was close, good thing you held it back. The tsunami from your last sneeze flooded all the surrounding islands. If these sneezes happened in the city center, I can't even imagine the consequences. As she spoke, Violet put the food on the cabinet. The doctor says you need to eat light for now, so just have porridge for the time being. That's way too bland, can't you at least add an egg? No sooner had he spoken than Blackie burst in, carrying bags of medicine, startling everyone. Your Majesty, I brought every medicine that might help. Since you've never been sick before, just take 1,000 times the normal dose and see if it works. You guys are overreacting. It's just a stuffy nose. After a few days rest, I'll be. Seeing this, Violet and Blackie quickly gestured for Zombie to sneeze upwards. With a thunderous boom, Zombie's sneeze shot straight to Mars, splitting it in half. This scene was captured by the Special Act Enforcement Bureau's satellites, plunging headquarters into panic. Oh my god, this is terrifying. According to satellite data, the sneeze caused a slight shift in Earth's orbit and inflicted devastating damage to Mars, which will crumble completely in 72 hours. Yet, after hearing the report, General Sausage and the others were relieved. Thank goodness, as long as it didn't hit the sun, everything's still fine. Suddenly, with a bang, two figures crashed through the glass. Don't worry, it's us. At that moment, Blackie's abdomen had been pierced, and Violet had activated her thought deity form. That was close, almost got killed by the king's sneeze. My thought deity form didn't even last 2 seconds. Too terrifying. Hearing this, General Sausage pointed aside. You should count yourselves lucky to have escaped. Look at those zombies, he's only been sick for a day, but Fur and Alang, who helped examine him, were blown apart over 50 times, and the saw-wielding one still hasn't recovered. Blackie was stunned at the sight of his brothers. They still haven't recovered. The king being sick is terrifying. Hearing this, Agon tried to act calm. It's just an allergy, why is it so scary? But inside, she was panicking. I'm next, what should I do? At this moment, Prince Kai stepped forward. This is only the beginning. It'll just get worse. Zombie has absolute control over his bodily genes. Drunkenness, dreaming, illness, or coma simply won't happen unless he allows it. Only when absorbing or assimilating an existence of equal rank does his immune system produce allergic reactions like sneezing. Sneezing, for him, means wielding power. A normal person's sneeze is like a typhoon, but for someone as absurdly strong as Zombie, it could destroy everything. What's worse, this condition will last for 2 weeks. By then, not just the solar system, even the entire dimension, could be, but before he could finish, Argon punched him in the face. So after the source disappeared during the Divine Age, this is why you insisted on exterminating all zombies, which ended up enraging the king and triggering doomsday. They say even Argo was killed because of you, Prince Kai, you're such an idiot. As Argon and Argo teamed up to vent their anger on him, Prince Kai let them, saying he truly had no other choice at the time. Hearing their conversation, Violet realized this youth was Prince Kai. It's been thousands of years, and he's still alive. At this moment, Department Head Chen asked, "Earlier you said you had to destroy our civilization to stop zombie. What did you mean by that?" Prince Kai explained, "I said erasure, not destroy." Then he suddenly stood up, "But before that, I want to try the optimal solution one more time." As everyone looked puzzled and asked what the plan was, yellow lightning arced across Prince Kai's body. In the next instant, he turned into a bolt of lightning, rushing toward Zombie. His optimal solution was to try suppressing Zombie with his own power. At that moment, as Zombie was sipping porridge, he sensed something approaching. As he turned his head, Prince Kai appeared in the room and attacked. Seeing who it was, Zombie was delighted. "Prince Kai, it's been ages since I last saw you. I. With a loud bang, Prince Kai, who had just approached, was instantly blasted away by one of Zombie's sneezes. How embarrassing, getting blown so far away by just a sneeze. As expected, it really isn't that easy. With that, Prince Kai brought out the primordial relic again, and changed into his gear. He now held a holy sword with maxed out skill stats, wore the all-purpose crown with maxed attributes, donned the savior's cloak, and had a divine blessing necklace stacked with resistances. Raising the holy sword, he said, "Zombie, try this," and unleashed a sword beam toward Earth. But in the next instant, with a bang, a figure broke through his strongest attack. As Prince Kai looked on in unwillingness, a figure slowly emerged from the dust. Zombie, in his fifth form, teased, "Not bad, you've gotten stronger over the millennia. If I couldn't block that, you'd have pierced the earth. Come on, bring out your divine age and let me have some fun." Hearing this, Prince Kai realized that if he couldn't one-shot Zombie, fighting further would only provoke even stronger forms. So he once again took out the primordial relic, intending to erase Zombie along with everything else. But when Zombie saw the item, he became interested. "Interesting, this thing looks a bit familiar to me." But as soon as he finished speaking, Zombie's nose suddenly turned red. Prince Kai panicked instantly. "Zombie, wait, don't sneeze in this form." But in the next second, with a deafening bang, Zombie unleashed an earth-shattering sneeze, right onto the sun. With a crack, fissures spread across the sun's surface, and as they grew, the sun lost its light. Everyone was dumbfounded. "That's it, we're doomed. Let the world end." At this point, Prince Kai frantically tapped the primordial relic. "Damn it, not even a chance to explain." Then disappear, this world, with a bang, the sun suddenly exploded, and Earth vanished like a piece of paper in an instant.